Hello and welcome to this week's Impact Show, and welcome to Me and My Golf. We're your coaches, Andy and Pierce. We're answering more of your questions.
Yes, the Impact Show is all about you, so don't forget, get involved. Post your questions down below so we can pick one for next week.
Yes, and today's question is from Lawrence Han, saying, great videos. My question is, do you have any advice and drills to help stop my right hip from going towards the golf ball in the downswing? Thank you very much for the videos. Lawrence, we've got a great drill for you today that we're going to help just sort of focus more on what the lower body's doing in the golf swing. And we see this a lot, Pierce, this early extension swing foot that we often talk about, where the hips are moving towards the golf ball, often limits power, but really affects the contact, especially with the irons, doesn't it? Often that shank can happen, which we definitely don't want. So when it comes to this, let's explain what Lawrence is talking about for you guys first, and then we're going to really just take a closer look at the feet, the knees, and what the hips are doing, and give you a great sort of little drill that you can do to help get that footwork better, really.
Okay, yeah, so as you said, let's focus on that lower body. So we've got an alignment stick through the belt loops here, so you're going to be able to see the level of my pelvis as I'm doing this. And, you know, from what Lawrence is saying there, we're assuming that we're seeing a right hip and leg which does this in the downswing. So you can see the foot coming very much up onto its toe, the knee going forward, the hip going forward, coming away from the early extension line there. We can see that the hips are level. Sometimes the right hip gets really high as well when we're doing this. Body doesn't turn as much, and even my left foot, I'm coming onto my toes when I'm doing this. So everything's coming this way. We can definitely get those heel strikes from there. What we would like to see is a move where, and this is what we mainly say to people, that right foot as opposed to going up like that, let's get it rolling towards the target. So when I actually have the focus of rolling the right foot towards the target, you can see I'm not early extending, and you can see it's very, very different in how this is going through. I'm not up onto the toes on my right foot, and that's fine to go up onto those toes. Just make sure you don't go too much up on those toes. The left foot, look at that, Andy, you can see the toes very much up in the air. The hips are in a different position as well. The left hip is a lot higher, and you can see I've just got a lot more rotation when I'm doing this.
Yeah, what I like about this, you can see Pierce's foot has really rolled in there, but the right heel's off the ground, which we want because we want to create that power. We want the lower body firing, but look at this, how the left toes here are up in the air. This is really helpful for that early extension to keep that pelvis back, and just by focusing on the feet there, getting that weight into the left heel, allowing the right foot to work in, you can see how it changes the angle of the pelvis there. That right hip stays low, and this really helps when it comes to striking that golf ball solid, Pierce. And just rehearsing this, focusing on what the feet are doing, is a massive benefit then when taking it to the golf shot, isn't it?
It's an excellent time of year to do it as well, because you can do this in the house when it's freezing, and I'm not sure where you are from in the world, Lawrence, but it is a really good drill, and you can really get a different feeling when you're doing this compared to what you're used to doing.
Definitely, and we always talk about the downswing. Look, we always want the downswing to start from the ground up. So look, let's start with the feet, let's focus on what they're doing, and that then has a knock-on effect throughout the legs, the pelvis, and then the upper body. So just rehearsing a few of those, you can see there Pierce getting the weight rolling onto the inside of his right foot, and that heel is sort of pushing into the ground on there, no early extension, and his posture is definitely better through the golf ball. So
nice that does that. I like that one myself.
Right, let's give it a go then, Pierce. So really close attention to the feet, really go slow with this and sort of build up some feeling with it, and then once you get to the shot, it's going to be a lot easier to feel that pressure going into the heel, but certainly getting the weight rolling onto the inside. You're going to see you striking the irons much better doing this as well.
I'm going to take a little bit of effort out of this one as well, Andy, so I can make sure I get that good leg work. Really felt as though my hips were pushing back behind me there because that right foot was rolling in, and obviously as you can see there, look at that there. Hold it there for as long as you can.
Toes are up off the people might think that's a bit strange to do that, but having the toes up there, you really just help to get the weight into the heel.
That's okay, it's fine to do that.
Okay, so really simple drill there to focus on the footwork, but it has a massive impact on what that pelvis is doing through the golf ball, and you're really going to see that your irons are going to be much more struck at the centre there for that. Okay guys, hope you enjoyed that, and make sure again you guys post your questions for next week, and we'll be answering that again. Thanks very much.